The scene opens in the bustling forest village, where small woodland creatures rush around, looking frustrated and worried. Squirrels, rabbits, and chipmunks hold up their clothes and blankets, which are missing buttons, making everything fall apart. Rocky, the clever raccoon detective, stands in the middle of the village square, listening as his friends complain about the missing buttons. A small squirrel shows Rocky his vest, which has one button left holding it together. Someone's been stealing our buttons. A rabbit cries out, holding up a half-fastened cloak. Rocky's eyes narrow thoughtfully, his tail swishing. Don't worry, I'll find out who's behind this, he promises. He notices a trail of tiny, colorful buttons scattered along the ground, and his eyes light up with determination. Looks like we have a clue, he exclaims, pointing to the trail. Rocky gathers his friends Lila the Squirrel, Benny the Beaver, and Olive the Owl at his treehouse, which is covered in maps, books, and detective tools. We need to find out who's taking the buttons, he says, tapping his paw thoughtfully. Lila looks around excitedly. We should be the button sleuths, she chirps. Benny nods eagerly, holding a small magnifying glass, and track down every last button thief. They each grab their detective gear, Rocky with his magnifying glass and notebook, Lila with a tiny backpack filled with acorns for snacks, Benny with a mini hammer for any construction, and Olive with her sharp eyes and quick thinking. Let's follow the trail and see where it leads, Rocky declares. The button sleuths cheer and set off into the forest, following the scattered buttons. The sleuths walk carefully through the dense forest, the ground littered with colorful buttons in reds, blues, and yellows. Tall trees loom above them, their leaves rustling softly as a gentle breeze blows. Rocky bends down to inspect each button, jotting notes in his detective notebook. Look, this one's from Mrs. Bunny's cardigan, he murmurs, holding up a small pink button. Lila hops ahead, spotting a shiny gold button caught on a thorn bush. This one belongs to the Chipmunk twins, she calls out, her bushy tail twitching excitedly. Benny and Olive keep an eye out for any other clues, their eyes scanning the bushes and trees. The trail is getting fresher, Olive hoots softly, her sharp eyes gleaming. We're getting close. The button sleuths reach a small clearing and spot the sneaky fox lounging under a tree, his bushy tail swishing lazily. He's surrounded by piles of shiny objects, coins, marbles, and even a few glittering buttons. Aha! Caught in the act, Benny cries out, pointing dramatically. The sneaky fox sits up, looking startled. What did I do? He asks, feigning innocence. Rocky steps forward, holding up a red button. We know you love shiny things. Did you take these buttons from the village? He asks sternly. The sneaky fox shakes his head. I didn't steal any buttons. I just collect anything that catches my eye. He gestures to his pile of treasures, showing a few buttons, but not the missing ones from the village. Disappointed but not discouraged, the sleuths move on. As the button sleuths leave the fox's hideout, Rocky spots something unusual, a small, iridescent feather caught on a branch near the trail of buttons. What's this? He murmurs, holding up the feather. It glimmers softly in the sunlight, shifting colors from blue to green. I've never seen a feather like this before. Olive swoops down for a closer look. That's a rare feather, she hoots softly. Only one creature has feathers like that, the button bird, but they're supposed to be very shy. Rocky's eyes widen. The button bird, that's it. The bird must be taking the buttons to build its nest. The friends exchange excited glances and follow the trail deeper into the forest. The trail of buttons leads them to the top of a tall hill, where a large oak tree stands alone. High up in the branches, they spot a massive nest made entirely of buttons, hundreds of them, glinting and sparkling in the sunlight. Whoa, that's a lot of buttons, Benny murmurs, his eyes wide with awe. No wonder the villagers can't find theirs. Lila squints up at the nest, spotting a small, fluffy creature peeking over the edge. There it is, the button bird, she whispers excitedly. Rocky cups his paws around his mouth, Excuse me, button bird, we'd like to talk to you, he calls out gently. The small bird flutters down hesitantly, clutching a shiny blue button in its tiny claws. The button bird lands on a low branch, eyeing them warily. I didn't mean to cause trouble, it chirps softly. I just needed more buttons to make my nest beautiful. Rocky steps forward with a kind smile, but those buttons belong to the villagers. They need them to keep their clothes and blankets together. The button bird looks down sadly, its tiny wings drooping. I didn't know. I just wanted something shiny to make my nest stand out. Lila hops closer. You don't need to take other animals' buttons. We can help you find pretty things to decorate your nest without taking from anyone, she suggests gently. The button sleuths gather around the button bird's nest, brainstorming ways to help. We can find colorful pebbles, feathers, and flowers to make your nest even prettier, Olive suggests. The button bird perks up, its eyes brightening. Really? You'd do that? It chirps hopefully. Of course, Rocky says cheerfully. But first, let's return all these buttons to their rightful owners. The bird nods eagerly and flutters around, pulling buttons out of its nest. I'll help you bring them back, it promises. The sleuths and the button bird visit each home in the forest village, returning the missing buttons one by one. The villagers are surprised but relieved to have their buttons back. Mrs. Bunny hugs her cardigan happily. Thank you, Rocky. And thank you, Button Bird. The chipmunk twins cheer as they sew the gold buttons back onto their coats. Now we won't freeze in the winter. The button bird chirps softly, smiling shyly. I'm sorry for taking your buttons. I didn't know they were so important to you, it says quietly. The sleuths help the button bird find new, beautiful decorations for its nest. They gather colorful pebbles from the river, bright flowers from the meadow, and shiny leaves from the treetops. This will look even better than buttons, Lila says proudly, holding up a sparkling pebble. The button bird's eyes light up as its new collection grows. Thank you so much, everyone, it chirps happily. Together, they carry the new decorations back to the oak tree, ready to create a dazzling new nest. The button sleuths and the button bird work together, arranging the decorations around the nest. Shiny pebbles, colorful flowers, and iridescent feathers are woven into the twigs. The finished nest glitters brightly, shining even more beautifully than before. It's perfect. The button bird chirps, its tiny wings flapping with joy. Better than I ever imagined. The friends step back, admiring their work. See, you didn't need to take anyone's buttons after all, Rocky says with a smile. Rocky and the button bird invite all the villagers to the oak tree for a special reveal. The animals gather around, curious and excited to see what's in store. As the sun sets, the button bird perches proudly on a branch, chirping happily. Thank you all for helping me make my nest even more beautiful, it calls out. The nest sparkles in the golden light, reflecting every color of the rainbow. The villagers gasp in awe, clapping and cheering as the nest glows with the combined beauty of the pebbles, flowers, and feathers. It's like a little piece of the sky, Mrs. Bunny exclaims. The button bird bows its head gratefully. And I promise, I won't take your buttons again, it chirps. The villagers smile warmly, accepting its heartfelt apology. As the cheers die down, Rocky and the button sleuth step forward. We couldn't have solved this mystery without teamwork, Rocky says proudly, and a little bit of kindness, too. The button bird hops down, holding a small shiny object in its beak, a tiny, colorful button badge made from spare buttons. It pins the badge onto Rocky's vest, smiling shyly. For being the best detectives and the best friends, it chirps. Rocky's eyes shine with surprise and happiness. The other sleuths get their own little button badges, each one unique and sparkling brightly. Thank you, Button Bird, they all say in unison. The villagers clap and cheer for the button sleuths, grateful for their hard work in solving the mystery. The button bird flits back up to its nest, looking down at the gathered animals with a happy chirp. "I want to help keep the village beautiful from now on," it announces. The villagers exchange excited looks. "What a wonderful idea," Mrs. Bunny says. "You can use your talents to decorate the village with colorful designs." The button bird starts by weaving flowers into the trees, hanging garlands of shiny leaves, and placing glittering pebbles around the village square. Everyone gasps as the village transforms into a magical, twinkling wonderland. Rocky and his friends watch proudly as the button bird flutters around, adding its creative touch to the forest. "It's found a new purpose," Lila whispers. Rocky nods with a smile, and a way to give back to the village. The scene shifts to the next morning, with the forest village glowing softly under the early sunlight. Rocky stands by his treehouse, admiring the beautifully decorated village square. The button bird lands beside him, chirping happily. "Thanks to you, I finally know how to use my love for shiny things to make others happy," it says softly. Rocky smiles, patting the bird gently. "We're just glad you're part of the community now. And hey, if we ever need a new nest decorator, we know who to call," he jokes. The button bird laughs softly, then spreads its wings, shimmering in the light. "Anytime, Detective Rocky, and if you need more mysteries solved, I'll be happy to help." It flies off, leaving a trail of glittering feathers behind. Rocky and his friends wave, knowing that the forest is a brighter, more beautiful place thanks to their new, button-loving friend. Everyone has unique talents that can be used for good. With a little guidance and understanding, even a mischievous act can turn into something beautiful and helpful. It's important to talk to others, share our needs, and find ways to make our community a brighter place together. Thanks for watching, kids. If you enjoyed the adventure, make sure to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and click the bell icon to never miss a new story. See you next time.